What's going on, guys? It is your boy Crunch, and in today's video we're gonna go ahead and compare these two bad boys, second anniversary Ichigo and Mind Ulquiorra, the second version. So a bunch of you guys were requesting this, really a lot of you were, and I didn't really want to go ahead and do this right away just because I had already compared Mind Ulquiorra to his previous version, but you guys are flooding me with those comments, so I decided, you know what, it's time to go ahead and do it. So if you haven't already seen my other videos on comparing characters, I'm going to go ahead and do an overview of the character, and then I'm going to do PvP, and then I'm going to compare the two. So at the end, you guys will actually let me know who you think is the better one out of the two. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you all so much for the support. If you guys can, go ahead and hit the like button on this video. That will help me out a lot. And anyways, you guys go ahead and enjoy the video. Peace. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the new second year anniversary Ichigo. Let's just go ahead and get into it. So he's a speed slash blue character. He is 20% Arankar, so he gets that extra damage on Arankars. And then his soul trait is plus 25% strong attack damage. So that right there is a very nice soul trait. Not many have it, so it's nice to have that. His stats are 1007 stamina, 627 attack, 356 defense, and focus 331, with spiritual pressure at 729, which is tied for first with Ulquiorra. So yeah, he's not playing around with his SP. His SP is really high. Flash step plus, which means he gets double. Instead of just the one, long stride, he gets two of those, so which is really nice. He also gets Bruiser, which is an additional 40% damage on his normal attacks on 627 attack, and he's long range, so really good. He's just really good. Devastation plus 40%, so his special is gonna hit a lot harder. And then he gets Frenzy, so his strong attacks are hitting double with 729 SP, which is just insane. That's obvious. That just speaks for itself. Fodder characters are 8 5-star Mind Ichigos, 6 5-star Speed Ichigos, and then 7 4-star Ichigos. So a bunch of Ichigos. Best build, of course, I have to go with strong attack damage or a hybrid. Kind of different. I usually go with either strong attack damage slash recharge or like normal attack damage, and that's it. This one I'm going with strong attack damage slash hybrid, because him having 627 attack and having that Bruiser, which is 40% damage increase, it's all combined with having ranged normal attacks, just makes you want to use a hybrid. And I do. That's the build that I go with, and it does so good. So I do recommend the hybrid. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Mind Ulquiorra. So let's just go ahead and get into it. He is, of course, Mind. His killer is Soul Reaper plus 20% damage. His soul trait is strong attack recharge time minus 12%, which is not as good as Lunar Ichigo. I think, Lunar Ichigo's is much better at 25% strong attack damage. But I do think maybe Ulquiorra does have slightly better killer effect at 20% extra Soul Reaper damage, which is, there's more Soul Reapers in the game. His stamina is 1001, attack 623, defense 354, focus 324, and SP at 729. So like I mentioned previously, he is tied for first with Ichigo. So these two are very similar. He's also a ranged normal attack character. And yeah, they're very similar, and he's very strong as well. I did forget to mention that his strong attacks, he has a third strong attack that charges up just like Lunar Ichigo. So when I say they're similar, they're very, very similar. The only thing about this character, Ulquiorra, is that he does have a few more skills. So let's go ahead and get into them. So he gets increased flash step, which isn't the plus like Ichigo, but he does get flash step. Sad range plus 20%. So his range on his strong attacks are insane. It's actually very noticeable, and it's a 20% increase, which is a lot. Bruiser plus 20% is not as good as Ichigo, but it's still nice to have that increase, but just not as good. It's a little disappointing, I guess. It would have been nice if he got the 40. Frenzy, of course, double strong attack hits with 729 SP. That's all you really need to know. He's a beast. He's got Devastation plus 40% on his special. Debilitator, increases the time that he burns the enemy with his special, because he is a boss killer. He does inflict burn, which is awesome. That's the one thing about him as well that stands out compared to Ichigo. He is a boss killer, and he's a really damn good one. You guys will see in the gameplay at the end of this, you will see his special, and it just looks so nice. Both of these characters just look so freaking nice. I don't know, man. There's not many things I could point out about them that are different. One thing I guess I could say about Ulquiorra though is that he does have a vortex, and it's different than your regular vortex. He actually shoots it and it goes in front of him, and it just moves with it takes the crowd with along with the strong attack, which is because that's why it's a vortex. But it's really strong. All of his strong attacks are ranged. They're really strong. And yeah, of course he needs 9 5-star Ulquiorras, 4 4-star Yamis, 3 4-star Orihimes. And best build, I have to go with strong attack recharge or strong attack damage. A little different than Ichigo, just because he's got the minus 12 recharge time. You know, if you can stack it up, he can basically cut his strong attacks in half and spam strong attacks from, you know, having a vortex to having a charged up third. You know, it's just so much damage that he will be inflicting. So now we're gonna go ahead and do some PvP. As you guys are seeing, we've got we're going up against Paragon, and we've got the two characters Ichigo and Ulquiorra. We ran some stamina on them, and we put some damage reduction links on them, of course, just because they're, you know, they're obviously supposed to have that, unless you want to lose in PvP. But yeah, we took care of Paragon and Yoruichi pretty quick there. And of course that was because of 2nd year anniversary. He has that attribute advantage, which does help out. Usually I don't like going up against Yoruichi, but as you can see, we're going up against her again, and we do good. You guys will see this. Look, Ichigo uses his 3rd strong attack and then his 1st strong attack, and it's just so powerful. If he can land his 3rd strong attack, he'll get a lot of range in there, so he'll most likely hit 2 enemies at least, and he's gonna kill him most likely. So he's really strong. Here we go up against Tsukishima. I believe this one's a good showcase from Ulquiorra. We'll have to see though. Yeah, so there he uses his vortex. He helped out by taking out Tsukishima, and now he's just from range using his strong attacks. They're both really good. Here we take a hit. Okay, oh yeah, and then this is where it gets real good. This is where it gets very clutch. So Jushiro's about to die. He dies, and now it's Ulquiorra versus Fullbring Ichigo and Kenny, and he uses his special, comes in clutch, and kills Kenpachi at the very last second. So yeah, if you can somehow get the soul bomb, you are good to go, because Ulquiorra will go ahead and just burn the enemy, and then, you know, with his strong attacks, he'll just end it for them. But here's another good run by both of them. Oh, I guess Ichigo dies here. Ulquiorra and Jushiro are my only ones left, but I believe we get a soul bomb, and that helps us survive. So right here, boom, Ulquiorra. Like I said, if you can get the soul bomb, you're good. Now let's go ahead and get into the pros and cons for both Ichigo and Ulquiorra. Let's go ahead and start with Ichigo. So first one is fast ranged normal attacks. So he does have really fast ranged attacks. They're like slashes, and a good character to compare him to is Aizen, Hogyoku Aizen. There's not many characters like them that have those like slashing normal attack, and it's very strong, and it gets a lot of damage really quick, and that's one thing I really like about this Ichigo. Of course, he also has Frenzy, which is always a benefit. Having the double strong attack hits helps out so much. And then of course his 3rd strong attack is a charged up attack that gets so much range around him, and it hits super hard because of Frenzy. So of course that's a big time pro about him. He also has one of the highest, I think he has the highest stats in the game. He's tied for 1st in SP. I know that for sure. He's tied with Ulquiorra, which 729 SP is no joke. You add that 25 sad link, and it you can see the why this character is so hyped. That link is very good for PvP and PvE, so I really like that about this Ichigo. A couple more of the pros, of course, I put aesthetically pleasing. I just think this character looks sick. His artwork and his in-game look just looks so good. One of the nicer looking characters in the game. Melee / range strong attacks. So what that means is that his strong attacks, you've got 2 ranged and then 1 is a melee. So I find myself, for example, in extreme co-op or inheritance zone, if you can have a combination, or if you can have one of the melee or 1 ranged, at least 1 of each, it'll help out a lot. So I think that's nice about him as well. You know, you get the combination, he can inflict both ways. But now we go ahead and get into his cons, and of course I put charged up 3rd strong attack just because I feel like it's obviously a good thing to have that 3rd strong attack. It's like having a special every like 15 to 20 seconds, but it can also be a con, especially in PvP, just because you can't charge it up in PvP. So of course I put that as a con. 1st strong attack can sometimes be a little narrow, and you can sometimes miss an enemy or 2. That's one thing I do find about this character that's a little annoying and frustrating, but you just have to play with him and you'll get the hang of it. And then of course I ended it with weaker than expected in PvP. So this character, just looking at his stats, looking at his his sad link, looking at his stats and everything, his skills and everything, frenzy on top of all that, you would think this character would be one of the best characters in the game. But sadly, when I tried him out in PvP, he isn't as great as expected. I'm pretty sure Broken is better than him. You know, they're both speed characters, but I do feel like Broken is better, and I don't know, that's just kind of frustrating. I think he's just a little weaker than expected. And now we go ahead and do Ulquiorra. Pros: fast range normal attacks. So same thing as Ichigo. They have very similar normal attack string as well. These characters are very similar. If you weren't able to get Ichigo and you got Ulquiorra, consider yourself lucky. You got the second version of Ichigo. He really has fast normal attacks, just like Hogyoku Eyes and just like Ichigo. There's not many with that normal attack string, and I really do like it. It's fast and it hits super hard. He also has Frenzy, of course, so his strong attacks are going to be hitting twice. And he does have a 3rd charged up attack, just like Ichigo, but this one's a little different. It gets everyone in front of him, and it has so much range. It's so much range. It hits super hard. So that 3rd strong attack is definitely a pro, at least in PvE. High stats, tied for 1st, of course, just like Ichigo. He has 729 SP, which is the highest in the game at this point. He's a boss killer, so that was one thing about him that you could go ahead and compare against Ichigo. Ichigo is not that great of a boss killer, you know, when Ulquiorra is one of the better. He has 2 skills that go towards his special, which is awesome. You know, it inflicts he inflicts more damage, and then on top of that, his burn effect lasts longer. So he's a really good boss killer. Again, I also put aesthetically pleasing. Just he looks so cool, man. He looks so cool. Especially, I'm a little biased on this little part just because I freaking love him. He to me, he's like one of the cooler looking characters in all of anime. Last pro, I went ahead and put Moving Vortex. It's something new. I like it. It looks really cool. It gets all the enemies. It's a good crowd control strong attack, and of course it inflicts a lot of damage because he's got Frenzy. So yeah, that's definitely a pro. And then there's a couple of cons when using this character. His 3rd strong attack, of course, you know, having the charged up 3rd kind of can get in situations might not work very well. So of course, just like Ichigo, I put that in there. And then of course his link, 12% recharge time, is good for PvE, but it's not going to do anything in PvP. So that's the one thing about him that kind of sets him apart from Ichigo. Ichigo having the 25 sad link is obviously a lot better. I went ahead and listed Ichigo for better fit in PvE and PvP. Obviously, like I said earlier, he's not as great as I thought in PvP, but that's also just probably me not being very experienced in PvP. And I did notice, you know, that he can take on Yoruichis, which maybe I was being a little too hard on him just a minute ago, but he is strong. PvE, PvP, one of the best PvE characters at least. And PvP, he'll be all right as well. Ulquiorra, I went ahead and put PvE. He's not going to be bad in PvP, but I think PvE is where he's just amazing. You know, all the strong attacks, being able to spam his strong attacks, being able to kill the bosses because of his special. Anyways, that is the end of the video. You guys let me know in the comments who you think out of the two, who's better. Let me know who's better for PvE, and let me know who's better for PvP. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. This did take a while to edit and make. You guys have been coming through with the likes, so if you guys can, go ahead and hit the like button on this video. I know you guys will. And let me know who you would like to see next. I've already got one in mind, and you guys will just have to wait for it. It should come out at least in the next couple of days. Anyways, I love you guys. You guys take care, man. Peace.